Hello, hello. This is Patty Montoya, the founder of TT Posa. I'm an energy healer and psychic medium. I work with people transitioning, grieving, going through anticipatory grief. I have different modalities that I can share and help. I also do tarot and a lot of other things. So, if you're following this channel and you're watching my videos, the videos have a little bit of everything, but it usually comes from my personal perspective and my personal stories. And I just want to share kind of how I came to this situation, how I work through each situation. So today I'm wearing my headphones because the big ones, because the other ones were not working. So today I wanted to talk about signs. I talk about it a lot, but I felt that I hadn't like really kind of put it all together. Um, I want to talk about asking for signs, why we might not get them, and angel numbers. So let's get started. Okay, so signs when someone passes away. I'm a big believer, I see it everywhere, and I think it's so important. So, what are signs? How do we get them? Like, let's get basics. Also, I ramble a lot, so I go back and forth. So just follow with me. Stay with me for a little bit. Okay, so signs. Signs are something that you might ask the soul that has passed away to show you the right path, or if you're making the right decision, or just you just want to know that they're there. So I usually tell people the sign for my mom is a blue butterfly. So everything that has a blue butterfly, I'm like, she's here. Or if I need something from her, I'm like, let me show me a blue butterfly. I know she's here. Um, with my brother, it's kind of soccer and red apple. We had an orchard at our Colombian farm, and when my brother passed away, my mom made this kind of like apples for everyone. It was a beautiful. I don't know where I put mine. I need to find some. So beautiful, just kind of reminder. Other than that, I have many stories of asking for different signs for different things. So before we go into that, I want to talk about angel numbers. So angel numbers are um, triple digits or four digits, the same digit together. So for example, 111, 444, 333, 777. So we might see it in the hour, right? 1111. We might see it in license plates. I see it really everywhere. For example, notifications on your phone. You have 444 emails, unread emails. Um, the parking spot is 777. Things like that. Like it just they're everywhere. When you start looking for them, they're everywhere. And each angel number has its meaning, right? So 111 is kind of new beginnings, right? For me, 444 is like you're being guided, you're in the right direction. Remember, you're protected. 777 has kind of multiple meanings for me. It was my mom's favorite number. It was the name of our building that she built with my grandfather, and we lived there for many years. Um, but it's also like a lucky number, right? 555 is big changes. For good or for bad, there's just big changes. Like it's just a little complicated. I feel like when I see 555, like okay, it's not gonna be comfortable, but changes um don't don't mean it's a bad change, right? It just maybe it's feeling uncomfortable. 999 is kind of fulfilling completions, right? So I'll leave you the homework to look for the other ones and just make it your own, right? Like I have my meanings for each number when I see them. Some people ask for um like a gift, like yeah, when they see 111, I think my souls, I think my angels, or I'm like, or I think about like, what was I thinking at that moment that this thing showed up? What is that related? What is it trying to tell me? Sometimes it's just kind of trying to tell me like, get back on the path, right? So think about what they mean for you. Kind of keep an eye. If you have any questions, just let me know. Send me an email or send me a DM through Instagram. I'm happy to help you kind of figure it all out. So now that we talked about angel numbers, I wanted to talk about kind of my experience with signs. Um, and I want to start talking about how people say that you shouldn't ask because not everybody receives signs. So I have a different approach. It might be kind of controversial, but I'm here for it. So basically, I I was trained by many different people, but one of my big mentors had been my doctor who introduced me to all of this. And she says, "Hey, not everybody's gonna get messages, and that's okay." I have a kind of a different belief from my personal experience. So, recently, um, I've been opening up myself to my mom more. Like I just she's here everywhere, everywhere. These paintings are her, and just she's all around me, and it's been hard, right? And so I listen to her, I write, I talk to her, but like they're just kind of limits, right? And then um one day I was having like an appointment with an amazing client that I have. She's a poet, so once she has her book, I'll give a shout out to her. But in the meantime, I'll keep her private. She I was kind of opposite to these paintings, and I was kind of looking at the screen and looking at the paintings, and she was doing something that reminded me of my mom. She was like, "Yay!" Like that was so my mom, so my mom. And I'm like, "I'm so sorry, but like the paintings and you, it's just my mom. Like I just saw my mom." And she's like, "That's so funny because I have your mom here," and I kept telling her to like go, but like she has a message for you. And I'm like, "No, no, no, this is not time for me. Like this is yours. Like this is your time." And we kept talking, and she's like, "I have to tell you." And okay, so she told me, and we had this huge conversation. And later on, I realized, like, one, we had a conversation with my mom, and she told me a lot of things that I'll share later on, I think. And I told my client, I'm like, it had to come from you because I wouldn't have believed it. Like, if she had told me that, I would be like, no, 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 like, I'm making it up. Like, I wouldn't have believed it. Um, and then when I open up, she's like, you have to go talk to her. Like, she's like just banging. She needs to talk to you. Like, she has a lot to tell you. So I talked to my mom, like a big process. And a lot of things make sense. She shared a lot. We did a lot of healing. And I was doing a podcast interview, and we were talking about how a person just was having a really hard time talking to her sister, and just connecting or asking for signs. And I told her, it might not be your situation, but I told her the story. And I told her sometimes we do not get the signs for two reasons. One, we don't believe in it. Sorry, three reasons. One, we don't believe it, right? So we're like, three, we're not open to seeing signs in a different way. So, for example, for me, the sign that my client came to me and she's like, "I need to tell you." It was like, it's a sign, right? It's not the sign that I asked for, or maybe I wasn't asking for a sign, but it was like, you need to hear this, right? Three, we're not ready to have conversations about a certain topic, right? And I believe that just because the person has passed away doesn't mean that there's nothing else left unsaid, right? Um, I told my clients a lot, and I think I did a video on this, on how with my mom we talked about asking for forgiveness, and this conversation that I had after I spoke with my client was continuing of that, of like understanding where I come from, all of this generational trauma that I really want to talk about. Um, so um, sometimes we don't want to go there because we're just not ready to have those hard conversations, and it's okay, right? There's no, I don't think you have to do anything. Again, I'm a big believer that is like how you feel, and at the timing that you guys feel. um, but think about it. Sometimes when we are like, we're not getting signs, I'm not getting signs. One, ask yourself, am I not getting any signs, or I'm not getting the signs that I'm asking for? Two, um, are they trying to talk to me in a different way? Are they telling me, like, showing me different, the other, like, it's kind of like different opportunities. Are they opening opportunities for me in different ways, right? So thinking about those things, that is really important. Is like, maybe they're just helping me in different ways. Like, for example, I don't know, like, I'm going through this whole situation, and like all of a sudden everything worked out, like literally everything worked out, and I'm like, that's my mom right there, right? Or this person said something, and it's like, that's exactly the word that my mom would have used. Or for example, I was doing a mediumship reading with a client, and I told her, your mom is talking to you about like a Virgin Mary, and I see her in like a wrap, a blue light wrap, like it's just showing me, I have to tell you. And she's like, that's exactly the message I got like a couple of days ago, but thank you for like confirming that I'm not crazy, right? So sometimes we just need that confirmation. And then just think about, like, are you just not ready to have some conversations, some hard conversations with this person? And there's no timeline. Again, like, if you're not ready, don't push yourself. But sometimes I just feel like I would hate for people to miss out on talking to the person that they lost, because they're not getting the signs. So if you're struggling with getting signs, or you don't know how to ask for signs, work through that kind of, ask yourself those couple of questions. If you're ready to start asking for signs, the first thing is, I think angel numbers are just super, super easy. If you're asking for, hey, are you here? Ask for like that symbol, right? Like, for me, blue butterfly. I I hear my mom everywhere, so like I know she's around. But for example, we just took a trip to Europe, and everywhere I would just like at the airport saw a blue butterfly, and I'm like, okay, that trip is gonna be fine, right? Like things like that I kept seeing. Um, I took a picture, I posted it on Instagram, but um, traveling back in the airplane kind of landing was 777, and I'm like, my mom is here, this flight is gonna be perfect, like no problem, I'm gonna be okay. So things like that, I'm not asking, I just know that she's there. But I have a really funny story. One time I was asking my mom for like confirmation, right? I was like, there's this big thing I need to choose. um and I kind of told her, basically, choose for me. It was kind of the message was like, if you show me a blue crane, I'll make, I know it's a yes, right? Simple, like I didn't, I usually tell people, don't make it so the image that you're asking, or the symbol that you're asking, or the action that you're asking, be so obvious, right? Like sometimes with people, we want to hear this random song, but if we go and look for it, or if we're going to a concert and the person sings that song, it's like, well, kind of. But if you're like, I want to hear this song, and then you're in the radio in an Uber or in a taxi and you hear it, that's a message, right? Like that definitely, like, you didn't go and look for it, right? um so I was like, I wanted a blue crane. I'm like, I'm not really like into blue cranes, like that's just a random thing that I was like, okay, I don't want to be super extreme, but I was like, let's just look for something random. And I didn't get it, and I didn't get it, and didn't get it. And then, like, meditating and kind of getting a download, the message was like, you're just like, it's a decision you need to make, right? Because sometimes what happens when we ask for signs is that we don't make decisions by ourselves, right? Like, I would be like, okay, you tell me, or the tarot has to tell me, or like, if I don't get a download, then it's not right. Like, and then you freeze and you put the power on something else or someone else. And the message was like, you already know the answer, and that's a decision for you to make, right? Like, and I'm like, okay, got it. As soon as I heard that download or that message, I went to my bathroom, and in the toilet seat, the logo is a blue crane. And I'm like, I go to the bathroom 24/7. I work from home. Like, there's just no missing that, right? And I'm like, of course, I wasn't ready to see that, but it was there the whole time, right? It wasn't something that we put a week ago we didn't put a new toilet seat or whatever, right? So I think that sometimes that's kind of like a message to wrap it all up of like sometimes we're just not seeing. We're getting our messages, we're getting our symbols, we're getting our songs, we're getting our whatever, but we just decide not to see it, right? So I hope this helps. I hope this clarifies a lot of questions you have about messages and symbols and signs and angel numbers. I love talking about this. So send me a message if you want to hear more or you have more questions. I love talking about it. And if you want to work with me, I have multiple different services. I work with all type of people all around the world. So I have free discovery calls. So you can go to my website at TITIPOCA, ttposa.com, or Instagram. I usually only book through my website, so to make sure that everything it's clear. But send me a message. I would love to talk to you. And if you have like, any questions or you want kind of like a discovery call, those are absolutely free, and you get to ask me anything you want. Sometimes we just want to know like, is like my particular situation very extreme or very different, like do you work with people in this situation, and I'm happy to walk through with you on kind of your personal situation and see how I can help you. Or if I cannot help you, I'll tell you, hey, this is not for me, but there's this other services that I'm happy to refer you to. So again, lovely talking to you guys. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be soon.